Hey guys, Cody here. I just want to let you guys know that we put some bloopers in before the episode started. Figured I'd come on and let you guys know so that way you had a clue of what was going on when it started playing. They're pretty funny, and I figured it'd be better to put it in before the episode because it kind of preludes to something that happens at the end of the episode. So stay tuned to kind of figure out what happened on later. We had a little mishap, but it was awesome, so we kept it in. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode.
So real quick on the thing here, his beard manages to make the audio quality absolutely distort every fucking time because he doesn't have a headset. So the clothespin was the quickest and dirtiest.
Oh,
And we're working on that. I'll have your computer when I come get Luke's parts,
cool.
Okay.
so we can get that sorted.
How do I sound for you, Graham? Because I'm echoing for somebody. I don't know who it is, but I can hear myself every once in a while.
Is it?
But am
me?
I don't know. Bah, Luke.
It's Luke.
Okay, let me
fine.
just.
Just turn me down. I literally, dude. Hold on, quick thing. Grab my mic. The fucking actual part that attaches to the desk broke off. So like normally it would attach like this flat part would sit on the top of the desk, and then this would come in like do like a little C clamp. It broke, so now I'm on this janky ass thing.
Lovely. Well, we're professionals here, obviously.
All right, I'm recording.
Okay. So then, you guys ready?
Yep.
All right. Then 3, 2,
Am I doing the intro?
1. You're doing the intro.
Okay.
And
All
I'm
right.
just clicking on the poorly spelled podcast, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh shit.
Oh, we have.
All right.
We're not even- yeah, let's
Shit.
go.
All right, let's go. Jesus fuck. It's a professional
Sorry about
operation.
that. Yeah, probably a good call because Buckley or Hackbar is gonna show up and be like, "Yo, what's everyone doing here?"
Yeah, what's everybody doing in this channel?
Yeah, well, fuck
Although-
Akbar. He refuses to acknowledge me.
No, he just called you. He thought you were someone else.
Oh, is
Wow.
that?
He probably thought you were Luke or something. Or Cody. That's why he said Cody, I think.
Oh,
He just totally disregarded you. Oh, hi,
In
Cody.
general.
Hey, welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast, episode 43. So we got a special guest this week. We got Angel from Seven Slot Society. Angel, Seven Slot Society. You started it, right? That was your thing?
I did, yes.
So how...
Yep.
Before we started the podcast, and we talked, you said something about it starting... You started the channel or the Instagram page in 2013? So you've been doing this
Yep,
for quite a while.
Yeah, we started in 2013. At the time, I had 2 people helping me. They've since moved on to bigger and better things. But it started with Instagram. Mainly, it was just supposed to be a repost channel, which, I mean, it still is, but it's kind of evolved into a little bit more than that at this point.
Yeah.
And then people just really latched on to the brand for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. We weren't doing anything different or special or cool or running ads or anything like that, but kind of evolved from there.
I mean, you've got some cool branding, and you see it everywhere. Like, I've probably been seeing it since I got into Jeeps, right? That's like, I don't know. You see Seven Slot
yeah.
Society stickers, you see the shirts, you see them everywhere. So, I mean, it's definitely
This ain't a
recognizable.
dig, but it's gonna be a little bit of a dig. The first time I ever interacted with that was at Roush in, I think it was, 2015 or 16. I saw it on a bunch of JKs, and I was like, the fuck? Is this like a new JK thing? And then it just started like spreading. And I'm like, okay.
Was
so
it,
I finally
was it in
Googled.
October?
I think it was
'Cause I
June or
used-
something.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, because I used to hold a charity event at Roush every year in October.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah,
Roush is a cool fucking place.
yeah, it definitely is.
So, like, I mean, we shouldn't have to ask because we already covered it, but what's the socials?
Seven Slot Society on everything except Twitter. Twitter's the worst. I barely use it. It's just the number 7 and then Slot Society. But everything else, to include TikTok, don't judge me, guys. Don't judge me. There's a TikTok.
Oh
How's
god.
it? How like I've always felt like it's kind of TikTok's a weird place for off-road related stuff. How well do you guys engage with your audience on there?
So when I started it, there weren't a whole lot, like the big brands that from off-road weren't on there at all. And I started searching the hashtags and there was absolutely nothing. And I was like, this is going to be good. So I was trying to corner the market, if you will, but my laziness got the best of me and obviously didn't do that. But the stuff that I was posting was getting ridiculous amounts of interaction just because it was so new. And I'm going to show you some numbers. These are just videos that I reposted from old stuff. And in the beginning, it was like 20,000, 30,000. I think one got up to 100.
Holy
But they were
shit.
just showing, they were showing the videos to absolutely everybody. And the account grew pretty fast in the beginning. Yeah, this is 55, 24, 51, 10, 290. So it's just, a matter of being first to market. But
Yeah.
I mean, that has a huge
not too
effect.
shabby.
It definitely has a huge effect. We had a off-road shop in the area where I used to live near Kish, and the guy was one of the first guys and best dressed, kind of a deal. And over time, the quality of work, because it started out of his shop, it just or not his shop, but his garage, it just kind of fell over time. But for a while there, he was everyone in the area was going to him because he was the only off-road shop that would open up an axle.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's
And
If that's the only option, that's where people are going to go, regardless of the quality.
well, the quality was there in the beginning, but as he
Mhm.
grew, the growth outpaced his abilities.
I see.
The dude was good. He set up an 8 1/4 well enough that I sheared the ring gear bolts off of it.
Oh, wow.
And
jeez.
that is a common theme at this point because that 60 that you have, Graham,
Mhm.
I had to replace a couple of the bolts in that.
Correct me if
My-
I'm wrong. What does this have to do with social media?
Sorry.
How did we get here?
Edward, what 60? I don't have a 60.
Yes,
The
you do.
60 that is currently at your shop under my Jeep?
Oh,
But you haven't touched the
Oh.
ring gear.
Yeah, I have.
yeah,
I
yes.
replaced a couple of the bolts. I think Cody was there for that.
Yeah. Well, other than that, he also did he re-geared it.
Yeah.
I know that
But I'm
he
No,
saying
no, you
after.
didn't.
did
the 60?
personally.
Yeah.
No, he did
Oh,
personally. but
your 60 or the one that
My
Cody
60.
cut for me?
Not the one that you cut for him. The one
The
that's
one that is
under my
under
Jeep.
his Jeep that is bolted to.
Oh, I was like, no, because you were saying my 60. I was like, what do you mean my 60?
No, I meant the 60 that's currently under my Jeep at your shop.
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. So because it's at Jacob's shop means it's mine now. Okay. I will it when
Your
it's done.
problem.
It is my problem.
So the only thing that I noticed about TikTok, the only reason I'm bringing this up was because you mentioned TikTok.
Oh
in
no,
such
drag
a,
us back. Take us back.
Informal, you're just TikTok. So something that I've noticed on TikTok is I do dabble with TikTok. I don't post much, but I do go through there and enjoy content. I know Richie does a little bit. Every time that I see a Jeep on there, if it does not have 1 tons or what are the fucking 4-ton axles? What are those things called? They're the 2 tons.
Rockwell's?
Rockwell's.
Rockwell's. Everybody's just little axle. Does not fucking matter what the video's about. But if they just see a 44, a 30, an 825, an 88, it could be a fucking 9-inch. No, just it's not a 1 ton. It bothers me so much because it has that
You're not wrong.
dude. It's like this Club XJ effect where everybody just shits on everybody. Doesn't matter.
Hey,
Doesn't even
tons
matter.
and 40s. That's what you need to be big, right? That's
But you
the
posted
cool
the
thing to do.
kid has a Civic and a fucking scooter. I don't know. Ugh. But
Well, anyways, this is not a podcast about TikTok or metrics. So let's talk about rigs. What are you wheeling now? And I know you said you had Cherokees, so we can add you to our Cherokee guest list here.
Yes. So right now I have a 95 YJ that has not run since I pulled it into my garage 3 years ago. I got it from my buddy Lamb Chop. We talked about him earlier. It had JK Rubicon axles underneath of it, spring over. It was mint, and I was like, "This is amazing. I'm gonna absolutely fuck it up and cut it to shit because I want to do something else." So I could have been
I
wheeling
love
this
it.
whole time. Instead, I've been sitting on my ass trying to build something.
So, that's to go from JK axles to what's going under it now?
They're Chevy 60 and 14 bolt.
Oh.
Any
Interesting.
reason for not going with the Super Duty stuff?
It was
Well, 'cause-
cheap and it was available.
There you go.
And he could just
Can't
have the
argue
transfer
the logic.
case point on the other side, right? It's easier to
I have
find a
Dana
GM 205.
300.
Oh, a 300? No,
Yeah,
no.
There's a 300 in there. A stock one at that.
Oh god.
Ask Luke about that.
Well, it depends on what you're running. Are you gonna put Oh no, you're running a 14 bolt and a 60. It's got a 40s.
Yeah.
That is not. I don't know.
They're 43s, SX, old SX2s.
Oh, we know how the 300 holds up to those.
Boom. It was
Dude,
originally just supposed to be on 40s, but,
I
shit happens.
literally got what? You were riding with me. How long of a ride was that? A minute
We
and 30
literally-
seconds into it?
We got up the first part of that obstacle, got to I wouldn't even say it's the harder section of it. It's just like another half of the obstacle, equal difficulty, I'd say, at least on that specific day. And you just, bink, you weren't beating on it too hard.
Yeah, I dropped the rear output and the front output at the same time, clean off
No
the case.
shit.
On my
Oh,
buddy's
fuck.
rig the weekend before I left for Tennessee.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, we went over that
Well, yeah, they
5 or
they couldn't
6
figure out. They thought they just blew
podcasts
the.
ago?
Yeah.
They thought they blew just the rear output because the rear drive shaft drops, so everybody's looking at the rear. They couldn't get it to
Right.
engage the front. Well, we drag it. They thought something was fucked up in the transmission or something.
Yeah, I
'cause they
thought I
couldn't get
did
it to
some
do
fine
anything.
dental work.
Yeah, so they were freaking out. I dragged the buggy back. That took forever. And we get out, put it on the trailer, and I roll under it, and it's got this little extension drive shaft piece to the front drive shaft that just snapped right. The input right out of the front as well. But you couldn't see it because the drive shaft was sitting there still, like it was. It had
The carrier block was holding everything in place, so
Yep.
it just snapped the output, and it was just dangling around.
So should I not even fuck with the 4-to-1 kit or just do something else?
I would suggest that if you are going to continue to fuck with that case, just from my personal group of friends and my experience, at a minimum, the inputs, and then I would definitely say there's a sheet metal cover that for the inspection cover. Replace that with a heavy duty aluminum one because that helps to limit the case flex and limit the eating of the teeth inside. And those covers are surprisingly cheap. They're not wickedly
thick ones?
expensive. Yeah, they're 3/4 inch aluminum. And so that keeps it from doing the whole twist thing because once they start twisting, it's over. Just,
Good to know.
gears are finite and yeah.
I will say,
having
having yanked the 205 out last night, I can see why people want to run a 300 though. That thing's fucking heavy. I sort of just
I worked
loosened
at a
the bolt.
shop and go ahead.
I don't have a transmission jack. I got to get one to reinstall it. But I threw just a spare tire I had underneath, lowered the transmission down, and it still had quite a bit of gap to go, and I just slowly loosened the bolts and control fall the thing into the right spot because there's no fucking way I'm catching that when it comes out.
Sounds like
it's
you
one-
need to eat your Wheaties there, boy.
Oh no! I mean,
are you?
this is a
fucking
heavy ass
kidding me?
case.
That's a 300-pound case. It's
I
one
don't
thing
give a
to-
shit. Eat his Wheaties.
it's one thing to crawl under there and do the whole bench press with 231 and throw that cocksucker in. It's another thing when you start getting into those cast iron cases.
Yeah, I'd even the AX-15, I'd let that fall on me. Like that's not too bad to handle, but the 205 with the Eco Box is just there's so much mass there. I can packaging it and dealing with it sucks. So if you can get a 300 to stand up to the abuse, it's definitely worth it. It's just I haven't seen one that can yet. But we'll see how Miguel's does with the new outputs. I'm curious to see how that goes.
Well, I mean, I should probably show up and do some fine dental work for him. That wasn't a cheap fix last time, so why not do it again?
Well, he probably won't let you drive it again.
Probably not. I wouldn't. Want to anyway.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, no, you broke it. You don't get to drive it.
Broke it in a minute and 30 seconds. Literally left the parking lot and broke it. That's almost as bad as flopping it in the parking lot.
All right.
I'm pretty
trying to do some
I'm pretty
donuts?
sure half of that time was just driving through my yard too, Luke.
Yes. No, there was a big rock and so like we went to a Go Topless Day event and you come around the corner, start heading to the trails, and I had a ZJ buggy thing and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna climb that. I tried to climb it and it kept denying me, so I gave her the skinny pedal and rode it all the way onto its side.
Gave her the beans.
Yeah.
And this was like a I wouldn't. It's like borderline family-friendly wheeling event. It's like trail riding, and then there's Luke like just right off of the parking lot on this boulder, just
right off the boulder on Revelman right onto my side.
Gotta
And all the people
establish
at the
dominance,
fence
man.
Oh no, that fucked me up because I didn't know jack shit then. So my harnesses were set up terribly and all of that. It was
Oh no.
great. Oh yeah,
not fun.
walking into work with the tube work from the side like imprinted into your side in black and blue. Oh yeah, my harnesses now are a lot better.
Those ones were scary.
So I gotta ask, we're talking about a 1-ton rig. How did you get there? What is the story?
You took like Jeep Origins. That started with a 2005 TJ that I got in 2009 when I was living in California, and had that for a couple years while I was living out there, bombing around the desert, hitting dunes, doing stupid shit like jumping out at 40 miles an hour. There's video proof of it. Completely sober, a lot of dumb shit.
Just to see what would happen, like.
Exactly. Well, it was progressive. Like I was like, oh, I'll jump out at 10 miles an hour while I was driving to scare my buddy, and it escalated from there. Obviously, I was 19 and stupid as shit.
So I have to ask because I've listened and a little bit of extra knowledge. Was that grunt stuff or
Was what?
was that Army stuff?
Marine Corps stuff. I wasn't a
Sorry.
grunt. I was not a
My
grunt.
bad.
No, dude, I don't give a
Totally
shit.
my bad. I was just listening to a couple of old episodes and I'm like, all right, military, all right, talking about carrying something. All right, grunt. Okay, cool. Yep, nailed it.
Yeah.
Nope,
No,
wrong.
I'm not I don't talk about that a lot because it's not who I am, if you will. I'm
Okay.
a lot of stuff other than what I used to do. So
So from California to here, what's the difference in the wheeling like?
I absolutely love this question because they're not the same at all. It's not even comparing apples to oranges. It's comparing fucking pecans to bananas. Like they're just not even in the same realm. Like what you guys have up where you are in Connecticut, Massachusetts, I would say is more akin to like Pacific Northwest type of stuff.
Yep.
But the wheeling in California, Southern California, Utah, stuff like that is just, it's totally different than on the East Coast at Roush, at the Cove down here in Virginia. They're just completely different. It takes a different type of driving style.
Huh.
Even
Which do you
Roush.
prefer?
Even
What about Roush?
Even Roush compared to where we are, you go further north, like Roush is sandpaper compared to some of the stuff up where we are.
No
I've noticed.
shit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Luke, you can probably testify to this. Like, it wasn't just a good day. Like, the rocks are different there. It's not quite the same.
Yeah, you get hero traction at Roush compared to like Kish's backyard. In Kish's backyard, you'll be like, all right, I'm gonna make this. Grab second, aggressively go to rev limiter, dump
And
the
still not
clutch,
make it up, right?
and go.
You
And
got
you're
some of the
just-
pictures. You're like, it just looks like a hill. Like there's nothing there. You're like, no, this is like third gear assaulting and still not getting up it.
Jeez.
And then I will say down here, I've noticed is actually I don't know how, but it's really similar because I went out with not wheeling, but I went out and we hiked out some of the areas that we have wheeling around here, and fucking it's just sloppy clay on top of rocks. It's like the exact same thing that we have back home is how it
Exactly.
is in this area of Tennessee. We don't have clay, or we didn't. I don't think we had clay back there, but we had soupy mud, and it's just the exact same thing. It's still wheel speed and driving like you stole it. You know,
Yeah.
I can see how rock.
Are you by
house-
AOP?
I am 52 minutes from AOP.
I was just there in June.
That is awesome. I'm also
Yeah.
like, I'm conveniently nestled an hour and a half from Windrock and like 52 minutes from AOP. So like,
Dude, that's amazing.
yeah, and Dirty Turtle is about 2.5 hours. Harlan is like 3 hours. It's just like,
That's
and
the perfect spot.
what is it? Gulches in South Carolina is 6.5,
Mhm.
but it's right by my grandparents, so might as well go pay them a visit and Jeep abuse.
Exactly. Yeah.
Your Jeep's not going to survive. Once it goes down there, it'll never come back. It's
Are
just
you
going to turn
trying
into
to
a
imply
raisin.
that it's just like a baling wire expedition?
Yes.
Zip ties, duct tape, and a little
Ooh.
bit of electric glue.
We'll try and prep it the best we can.
So, what was the starkest part, though? I know you said driving style, but like,
Mhm.
it's really cool to actually be able to talk to someone that was out there and did it for you.
So there's no moisture unless you get it on a rare occasion that it is raining, but it's more about like they actually crawl stuff out there. I don't know if you guys know this, but
What
your
it-
transfer cases can go in super, super low gear where you can just chirp the tires and make
Yep.
it over stuff.
My Jeep would probably hate it out there because even with 538s and the whatever 40s with the 272 to 1, I just don't feel like I've got enough low range. But I feel like it's a pretty good combo for out here because, you know, if you're going to get abusive, let first gear be abusive
True.
and second gear be the, oh shit, he's going for it gear.
Yeah.
And to
I
sort of
encourage us.
just
Go
to
ahead.
piggyback off your the gearing comment there, is I've actually noticed that the guys who try to wheel speed up stuff in out west and Utah and those places, they end up almost hindering themselves because they're not getting the traction right. If they just went slow, they actually crawl up it no problem. It's the wheel speed that actually kills them, where that's the opposite here.
Yeah, it's the guys coming from this side of the country that go over there like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just gonna hit it in second.
Because it's dry, it's easy shit. Like
Exactly. That's not exactly how it works.
no.
So
But I encourage everyone, if you have a chance to go out there, even if it's to visit, you don't even have to wheel, just to go out there. It's fucking incredible.
Yeah. I've been to New Mexico just for hiking actually, and it's a beautiful place. I'd love to go back.
Yeah.
I didn't know you went to New Mexico. What?
Yeah. I
When
went
was
to New
this?
I was still in high school. It was a Boy Scout thing. I did
okay.
it was like a 2-week backpacking thing. Absolutely insane.
Shit.
Beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I know I've hit on it before on the podcast, but when I went out to El Paso, it just blew my mind. I'm like, we were riding around in a YJ on 33s, and I'm like, you guys are sure you want to hit that with an open rear diff and like a lunchbox in the front? Yeah, no problem. And I'm like, are you sure? Sure. Like the scope of the obstacles that you can do out there compared to up here, it's just two totally different worlds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we got into this when I was gone for a little bit. What got you into wheeling? Did we talk about this?
No, but I'll give a quick one on that. So
Yeah.
I didn't have a car. I was in the desert, in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Went out to one of the car dealerships off base and was like, "That's the only Jeep. I want that one." And they tried to get me into a Mazda 6, whatever, like the little sedans are.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, 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 no. So I ended up with that for I think 18,000 at 28% APR
Oh my god.
at 19. So that was super cool.
I thought 11% was bad. Holy shit.
They got me good.
So what year was it? What was it?
That was 2009. It was in 2005. So it was still, that's new to me.
Yeah.
Like I've never had anything that new.
That still hurts though. Like I was bitching and moaning because I got 4.5% on my truck, and like,
Yeah. They had me for 6 solid years.
oh my god.
Damn.
Yeah.
So then, so what? Did you have like friends that were out that way, or did you just decide like, hey, I want to take this thing off roading, or like kind of, what was it that like pushed you to go to where you are now with the wheeling?
So at that point, I knew 0 other people that had Jeeps. Absolutely 0. And come to find out, like after I got back in 2012 and really started getting into Jeeps here on the East Coast, found out that King of the Hammers happens not even an hour away from where I was stationed, and that was in the early years. So that was 2009. That was the second year of King of the Hammers.
Oh
I
wow.
had absolutely no idea. My life would have been completely different if I had gone there in 2009. I think I would have
That's
been
wild.
way sucked into the racing side more. But
Hmm.
I left California and went to Virginia, right below DC. Still had the Jeep. I got involved with the local scene, I think, in 2012 or 2011, which was nice. Met a lot of great people. Started going on some like small events, like regular wheeling trips, like green, blues, stuff like that. I think it was 33s at the time, and just kind of ingrained myself in the Virginia community. And then I had an LJ that I was building. And then I had 2 Cherokees, another TJ, an MJ, and then the YJ. So
Nice.
kind of progressively, they all needed more and more and more work.
So, what was the worst thing you've ever done to a Jeep?
Lifted that stock one, that first one.
Would you chase problems,
Um,
never ending with it once you did?
Yeah, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. It was a rough country short arm lift with, terrible
Classic.
shock.
Classic.
Yeah. I was that guy. That's why I try not to hate too
I
much
was
on
too.
the new
It's
guys.
fun.
I was too.
I feel like most of us were there at some point.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See,
but
I
still
was
have-
too poor, so I didn't even get rough country. It was like a mixed bag of random shit that I bought off of friends that were like kind of into it. So it was like Rubicon Express coils with truck
Yeah,
shocks,
the poor
with
country
like
special.
bastard parts or bastard packs, and that
Actually,
lift kit special lives on.
I think my rear leafs are still rough country now that I think about it, because they came off of my 95 that I had back in 2017, and I'm pretty sure that had a rough country lift. So, hey,
There's
it works.
something to be said for their leaf springs. They're cheap, and the ones I ran lasted for like 3 years before I like seriously bent the main leaf.
Yeah, mine
Like,
are
It's a
bad.
good run.
Yeah.
I
Mine
think
almost-
the worst thing I ever did was not change the oil in a 95 5-speed 2-door and fucking blew the motor.
Yeah, but that's
Ow.
like a 45-minute motor change.
Oh,
I was
shut up,
so-
Lou.
I was so no, I would agree with you, but I was so fed up with that Jeep at the time. I couldn't see past the fact that it just needed a motor. I wish I would have kept that one so bad. I love a good
So-
2-door.
The backstory on that is my current two-door is on its fourth motor.
Jeez, that's impressive.
Well, the first one was done before I bought it because it's got 300,000 miles on it. I bought it. I wheeled it with the AW4, all that stuff, and it progressed from like the first iteration was 35s, 3-link, 3 inches of lift, and I beat the balls off of it, locked and welded, because I had built enough Jeeps at this point in time. I knew exactly what worked. It was nothing more than what worked. And then I put 1-tons under it, and suddenly it was like I had a Dana 50 and a 10.5 under my ZJ buggy before this, so it was like, all right, well, I know I can start getting rowdy. Suddenly it just started overheating. I couldn't figure it out. Whatever. And then the metal flakes started appearing in the oil. And so I changed the oil, and I'm like, all right, whatever, no big deal. It's a 4-liter. It'll be fine. Then it started knocking. Okay, cool. It's knocking, whatever. I'll just swap in another 4-liter. My buddy's got one that's coming out of his parts Jeep because this one's dead. It sounds like someone took a fucking 55-gallon pail of marbles and threw it in the oil pan. So I swapped that motor in with the AX15, rebuilt the whole clutch assembly, all of that stuff, put the cage on the Jeep, took it out for one weekend, and sent the rod to God.
That was the theme for a couple of them. It was like one trip and done.
Yeah. So after that,
Single-use motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally single use. And that one I cracked the crank on. I took out a cam lobe. I bent a rod. And I wasn't even being that abusive that weekend. That motor was just done with life before I got it. And
Jesus.
it wasn't having none. So then I swapped in the current motor, and that's got 5 psi of oil pressure, and it's still going strong. And
it's just the fender. It's just the gauge. It's wrong.
I keep telling myself that, but it never ends up being that. So that's why I make the joke.
We really
about
do
motor.
have it down to like a 45-minute, hour-long job.
Not really, but probably like 3 to 4 hours to get it in and out.
Yeah.
We're idiots.
You're well practiced.
Yeah.
So out of
And this
all,
isn't. Oh, sorry.
they're good.
And this is in the span of like 9 months. So
Whoa.
Yeah, it was not good for a little bit
Yeah,
there.
you were frustrated. He was like, I'm not putting another 4 in there. I'm putting a 6.0 or a 5.3. I was like, you don't want to do that. It'll be gone for like a year as you try to figure out how to wire that thing.
So then
I may not have
swap
said
in-
that, but that's what I was thinking.
No, he told me that on the phone. So I
Okay.
do that, and then I go to Roush, and I blew the whole rear suspension out of it, and the front suspension, and I rebuilt all of that, and now it's sitting at your shop.
Yep. It's got brake lines. And a muffler. The muffler was needed. That thing was fucking obnoxious. And I will.
No open header 4.0s.
There was a time when everyone likes those, but you get annoyed after you have to drag it back and forth, and it's just, it's 12 o'clock at night and just fucking screaming. And it's in 4 low. It doesn't help that it's in 4 low, and you gotta like drive it at $2,500 to get it to go anywhere. So
are you saying you don't like the sound of my Jeep, Graham? Is that what you're saying?
is it
right
straight piped?
now? I mean, it has what you'd consider a muffler.
Well,
but it's
Luke
not.
didn't even
It's
have
a
any,
whole-
there was no pipe. It was just like right underneath the floor. And he's got holes throughout the entire thing.
And it reverbed off the inside of the hatch.
Yes.
So yeah,
Yes.
mine
Yeah.
doesn't have that, but mine definitely is just a pipe that comes around, then goes through this little can-looking thing that has a hole straight through the center, but there's a little bit of honeycombing around the outside. So yeah, it's pretty much
Yeah.
it's pretty much
Yours
I
actually
like the
sounds
way
pretty
your Jeep
okay.
sound.
Yeah, I think it's because of the '01 manifolds, how there was such a difference between the 98 to the '01s, or 98 to
Well,
I
do
think
you
it
have
was
the
the 90.
pre-cat?
I don't know.
Or do you,
no,
yeah,
He doesn't
Uh,
have the pre-cat. He has the dual,
the 3-to-1.
the 2-into-1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3-to-2-to-1 technically is what
Yep.
it is.
And then you got the race bullet on there, and it's not terrible because it if I remember correctly, it dumps out by the leaf spring perch.
It did until I bent it into my drive shaft. No. Yeah, wait, was it drive shaft? Yeah, no. It bent up and over my drive shaft, so then I had to take a ratchet strap and bend it back. So it kind of has like this really weird cockeyed dump into the center now. It's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. And then there's an exhaust
You
leak.
guys are my people.
I was just about to say, so Angel, is this like your kind of shtick with Cherokee people? I mean, are we living up to
Absolutely.
the expectations?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. I don't know what you guys think about me, but I absolutely love a straight funny story is my video on YouTube that has the most views is straight piped XJ.
So everybody's got to
cut the
know what it
muffler
sounds
off.
like before they chop their muffler off, right?
Exactly.
They
I think
gotta
that's why it
know.
has the most views. No, but I fucking love some XJs. My other than the two door, my favorite one I had was an '89 that everybody talks about built not bought. If I could do it again, I would buy another one because having something that I bought and just had to tinker with and could wheel immediately was fucking incredible. This building your own shit is overrated, and I'm fucking over it.
I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to buggies, I am definitely in that camp because if you're willing to plop down a solid 7 to 15, if depending on what you're wanting to tinker with, you can get a really fucking solid rig on stickies. And depending on what you want, it's just not worth me building it because by the time I get done building it, I could have paid for my truck already, you know?
Exactly. Plus your time, and your time is always worth something.
That it is. I'd still probably build one just because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
But
It's fun to tinker, but I haven't wheeled guys in years.
yeah, no, that's ridiculous. See,
years.
my plan, if I ever decided to build a buggy, is to keep the XJ around and just alive while I build something else, right? I'd have to have like some rig in between, even if the Cherokee dies and I have to get something else. Like just slap something together that works and go, and then work on something that's like done properly and takes 5 years or however long it takes, right? I think that's the way to go if you want to build it and don't just want to buy it.
Yeah.
What I should have done.
I mean, realistically, with the XJ is at the upper limits of my tolerance, if you will, for building something because there's just so much fucking time into that one particular Jeep. I can't get rid of it. That thing is towing the line of street legal and towing the line of buggy as close as I am willing to go. And any further and it becomes a buggy, but I don't want a Cherokee buggy, if that makes sense. I would rather just have a fucking straight up tube frame buggy. It's just not worth to try and keep a Cherokee as a Cherokee. You can't or versus a buggy, you have to make so many compromises. The only buggy I can think of that's good would be we've had this guy on Miguel's. He's got a Cherokee buggy where it started life as a Cherokee and it's just been chopped to shit. It's dove-nosed, dovetailed.
Oh, you don't
But
like
essentially,
Sean's is just chopped liver to you.
Sean's is cool, but Sean's is still a Cherokee that was converted into a buggy, whereas Miguel's is a buggy built around a Cherokee. And so the guy's got a triangulated front forelink, but he made his front forelink off of the rock slider supports. There's a ton of custom work that's gone into it.
Shit.
The front cage is tied into the rock sliders. The rock sliders just barely hold the uniframe together. And then all of the back of the cage work is tied directly in. His rear suspension's tied in. It's literally, his frame is basically the rock sliders at this point, and that's just it.
Jeez.
So it's still
What's his
Cherokee-ish.
Instagram name?
I don't think he has.
Does he
an
have one?
Instagram. I can double check for you, but
Gasp.
Yes, I know. He's
This buggy's pretty new to him. He's still how
he
long
did
has he
buy
had
it, but
I have
I
some
got
cool
no
videos
beef with
and
that.
pictures.
Like I said,
He's
No,
the 300 that Luke blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the picture, if you want to see a picture of what this looks like, Angel, if you go to the Blue Collar Off-Road Instagram, it's the third picture on there. and
Okay.
this thing's pretty. It's mean for what it is.
Oh,
It's still a
shit.
4W 4-liter
AW4.
AW4,
This is with the
231
yellow
300. Yep.
Yep.
So that was a
Damn.
Cherokee at one point, but that is like
But yeah,
that's as close to a Cherokee as I'd be willing to go with a buggy.
See, I'm
Sick.
That
glad
is
you
Adam,
mentioned. Sorry, no, Cody, you
That's
go.
fine.
You go.
Is it true that that was Adam Lydek's old chassis? Because that's what Colin was telling me this weekend. That was, or it was either Sean or Colin was talking about how that was Adam's old chassis. It got sold to another guy. Then that guy put the work into it, and then it got sold back up here. It's kind of crazy.
You know what? I could see that because Adam Lydek's old build was pretty damn sick. Kish and myself probably remember that from the Mabel days. You remember meeting Adam up there back when he had the 37 militaries on that thing?
You're muted, Richie. You're muted.
Yes.
So that if that is the case, we remember that back when it was full body before it was mutilated.
Damn.
But yeah, that was a good time.
I actually forgot that I met him in person.
Yeah, he had the white cage that he was like, yeah, man, don't look at it. I boogered it together to get into Roush because I was convinced they wouldn't let us wheel without a cage.
I remember that.
And then you go to
Back in the
Roush and
day,
they're
though, Roush was a big bad place to go, though.
yeah, and now I look at Roush and I'm like, man, it's nice to actually get traction.
What do you mean? We have plenty of traction up here. You just gotta have wheel speed. Come on, that's normal.
You gotta have wheel speed and a spare tire because up here you're gonna pop a tire being an idiot.
That's true.
Was that an attack on Colin?
Potentially, yes.
Shame on you.
So I gotta
No,
ask,
he
how many
deserves to be shamed.
tires did you mutilate out there? Was that like a common occurrence or is that a New England thing?
Out in the desert,
Yeah.
Cactuses,
I never
you
had
know?
a flat.
What?
Mm-mm.
How is that possible?
You didn't get like that big cactus thorn like right in the sidewall, right through the Kevlar
No.
on a bad Goodyear or something.
Nope. I guess I'm too good of a driver.
You're just swerving around those cactus.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't know.
I never had any tire issues.
I don't know a single person in New England that has not had a tire issue.
Well, speaking of tires, then might as well hop into my little spice and dice in here. What's your favorite tire brand, or tire compound? It can be on road, can be off road, doesn't really matter. Can't choose a sticky because that's obviously cheating.
Okay.
And then what's your worst tire? Like absolutely fucking hate.
I'm gonna say TSLSX. It's a classic tire. I love it. I love the way it looks. I have 2 sets of them right now.
Is
worst
one set a
tire-
sticky?
No, one set is not a sticky.
Oh.
One set has a date code of like 2001 or something. They're dry rotted as shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
let me-
42s on 15-inch wheels, so they look a little goofy.
Jesus.
That's
Yes,
You like some sidewall?
Jesus
right. That's what was originally going to go on the YJ, but then I was having issues with clearing the brakes with the 15-inch
Yeah.
wheels. So I had to go
Yep.
to a 17.
17s are the new 15.
Yeah, I've been seeing that, unfortunately. Worst tire? I don't know.
There's got to be one.
Oh, here it's the up there it's the Milestars. I don't know how they do down here, but I'm gonna imagine it's equitable amounts of suck.
Doesn't one of you have Milestars on what you're building?
I had one of them, or I had them. I ran them for 4 wheeling trips, and I sold them.
I have heard the Milestars do not do well in the Northeast.
No, they are
That's
like
correct.
they're terrible. It's a rev limiter paradise at minimum.
You kept
It's-
saying you were waiting for them to break in too. Like we were waiting for them to start working.
It's
and
not
they
a
never
red
did.
label.
No, but like
well, like
there's
even
a
with
difference
my
between
Nittos.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. Even with my Nittos, I noticed that like after the second or third time that I hopped up on a rock ledge and just let it eat for a little while, little smoke show, they once the edges start to round off of them, they actually do something. Whereas with these tires, I would hop on and I'm like, I'm just sitting here smoking my tires. Like, the fuck am I doing? And for the extra $60 a tire it was to go to the Nettos, hands down difference.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that I can think of off the top of my head in the Northeast that's had good luck with them. I mean, there's different tires for different applications. The guys on the West Coast in Utah and New Mexico, they fucking love that tire.
Yeah,
totally.
It's a cheap tire that does grab.
Works.
There's a lot of surface area for it to just hook up on the sandpaper they got.
You know, I
guess my worst tire would just have to be Thornbirds because they look so fucking stupid. I've never run them, but
So it's funny you mentioned that one of our listeners, Ryan, we've had him as a guest on the episode, was just telling me that his buddy's building a Ranger to go wheeling and it has Thornbirds, and I'm just like, oh no, because
hey man, run what you got.
They're an old ass tire though. That's my biggest problem. Is I think when did they stop making them? Back in like 20?
They're still making them.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure they're still making them.
I'm gonna check. But either way,
checker.
Yeah, that's me. Either way, I've never heard a good thing about a Thornbird, like ever. But
you know, it'd be hilarious.
Hey, run what you got.
It'd be hilarious though if they made a 42 sticky Thornbird that was like God's gift to wheeling. That would just be like over the top. I remember back in
my credit card.
Back in high school, we had a kid that had a Scottsdale, and he was like, "Yep, nope, I'm getting some TSL Thornbirds," and I'm just like, "Okay." He's like, "So can I come with you guys?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And I had to keep pulling him out of like mud holes because everyone has the phase in New England where mud is what you do, and so I had Pizza Cutter 34 Swampers at that time, and I had to keep bailing him out, and it was hilarious.
I will say, though, his Thornbirds did phenomenal rooster tails.
That they did.
So, okay, so right now on Interco's website, you can buy them. For a 33, 12.5, R15, how much per tire do you guys think these fuckers go for?
312.
400.
What are you thinking, Graham?
We'll say 320.
340 a fucking tire. Oh no. These are wait, there's a discount. No. They're normally 380 a fucking tire.
What? Oh, so off the close.
I didn't realize that there was like a 40% off deal or whatever here. Who in their right fucking mind is gonna spend that much money for a 33? That's
Dude,
almost
that's like getting into the territory.
Listen, they want the premium quality. Only
hold on.
The coolest people can get the TSL Thornbirds on their rig. In a 33 no less.
That's painful. It hurts me on a deep core level. And I will run garbage. I ran Patagonias in New England to try and prove that they would work.
And Trep radials. You got me hooked on the fucking Trep radials.
Hey, those things
fuck. They're a great tire. But everybody's like, why the fuck do you run those? Like, those are stupid.
Because they fuck.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, a Trep radial and a 40 is $600. So for
no, you're looking in the wrong spot. On eBay, they go for cheaper if you find the right ones.
Who the fuck goes to eBay for their tires? What are you, my grandfather?
People who don't want to spend $600 per tire.
You gonna run those fucking Puma tires, dude? Talk to the right people. Get your ins. Get your shit at a discount. Fuck off on eBay.
All right, where's my discount?
You guys aren't all sponsored. You got this amazing podcast. Why aren't you guys sponsored?
Yeah.
Because we're poor white trash or some shit.
Sorry, we don't have 22,000 followers on Instagram, mister.
I don't have sponsors, dude.
I bet you could with 20,000 though. I bet you could definitely talk to the right people and get a little something, a little kickback.
I don't want to be accountable to somebody.
Ooh,
yeah, I can respect that. I can 100%.
You need to do a certain amount of posts per month, like with me tagging. Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
If I was afforded that opportunity, let me say that I haven't turned anything down.
But like the thing for me is I prefer people that are genuine, and that's one of the biggest issues I have with a lot of tire reviews. Is it's like, oh, I got these things for free. well, you got that shit for free. You're not gonna have the same opinion as someone that just laid out $2,400 on a set of fucking 40s. You know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
True. But I did find out from Rob this weekend that I can get General Grabber stickies. We just have to correlate Blue Collar Off-Road as a race program, and then we could talk to these companies about race parts. Come on, guys. It's simple.
All right, let's start building a race car. Let's
Yeah,
go.
it's
King of the
only
You
Hammers
like-
got the race car at your
2024.
shop. It's already got fucking coilovers and a
Boom.
fuel cell.
Do it so I can get stickies. Hurry up.
I got 2 there. We got 2 in Luke's Jeep. We'll make it work.
Speaking of which, you want to sell them bad boys?
Which
Are
ones?
those Kings or
ones?
Fox?
Those
Those
are
kings
kings.
sitting behind you.
God, how big's your dick? Is it dragging behind you too? What the
Yeah.
fuck? You got Kings, dude? What the
I heard you guys talking about that on one of the last episodes. You're like, I don't want to brag, but I was fucking cracking up, dude.
How much are Kings for 14s? I'm looking it up.
I got them
Oh, sorry.
for 14, 2.5 inch. I got them used. They were new in box. The guy never put them on. He was gonna put them on a Land Rover, and never did. So he sold them to me for $100 less than you'd get them at cost. And it's basically exactly what I was looking for, anyways. So I wasn't gonna turn that down when I was already like in the market for it. It was
Why are
1,300,
these-
I think.
These aren't bad. Yeah, these are showing $600 for a 14-inch, 2.5 coilover. That's not bad. I really thought Kings were like way more expensive. Like,
And then we got Mr. Poverty Tier over here, who was hooked up by Chad Bartley for I think it was like $850 out the door for a set of Pro Fenders with
But yours aren't too bad. I like your coilovers that you've got in your Jeep.
yeah, and I got Pack Racing springs on them for like $850 out the door. That
Yeah,
dude
that's
hooked
not
me
bad.
the fuck up.
I lied actually. I was looking up 16s, and those were the attached body resis. So I'll be back with you on a proper price.
The ones that I have, roughly, I'd say 1,400 retail.
Yeah, so they're 700. 700.
As they, they're sitting real pretty right now.
Doing nothing. But
Yeah.
like, I mean, all in all, for like what everybody jerks off King for, like, that's not a bad price. You're gonna spend $500 on a set of like what Luke got, or not a set, but like one coilover is gonna cost you $500. I think Foxes are upwards of 700 now.
I think Fox. I could be totally wrong, but I thought Foxes were more expensive for some reason.
I will look it up.
Depending on what you do.
I was under that
Backjacker.
impression as well.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Hold on. Holy shit. Why is it's $900 for a 2.5 coil, 2.5, what is that? The actual size, ramp size, or not the ramp size, but like the body size
That's
is
the,
2.5.
or
The
the
I don't know.
shock rod body.
Yep. And a 14-inch travel with springs is $900. That's fucking crazy. Holy shit. So Kings aren't Kings supposed to be better than Fox?
It depends on who you ask. It's kind
How much
of
money
like,
do you want to spend? You can figure it out. You tell us.
Yeah.
Well, if Fox or King wants to reach out, hey.
For the race car. We'll
Hey,
put
man, at
Fox
that
in the
point
front,
in time-
Kings in the back, and see which one does better.
even Pro Fender, just drop some stuff. We'll make it work. It'll be cool.
We'll do it.
Different coilover on every corner.
Yeah.
You know it. Oh, and Radflow. I will say though, I like Radflow's shit a lot. It was just the resi versus non-resi, and I would run a set of Radflows in a heartbeat. I had them on the ZJ and an Airshock, and I liked them a lot.
So Bilsteins are kind of, sorry to cut you off, I'm just reading here. Bilsteins are like right in the middle, but these don't come with coils. $400 without coils. So I'd say comparative price to the Kings, because I don't even know what a set of King coils would cost you, or a set of like decent coils would cost you. But God, I'm so blown away by this Fox price. Holy shit.
So I have to ask the question to the guy that's been in the game for good while. I started in like 2013, 2014. I'm gonna guess you've been in for a little longer. What was the thing that blew you away the most as far as like cost goes and off-roading?
Austin off-roading. I guess the first thing that caught me off guard when I first started was I was unaware. Like I didn't come from an off-roading background at all. Like 2009 was when I started. Is when I found out about gear sets and changing gear ratios and the amount of time and labor that goes into it. And I was like, hold on, wait a second.
Yeah.
So I think that was the first thing that blew my mind early on.
Fair enough.
I was in the same boat. I was like, wait, how much to re-gear and put a locker in something? Like, what? To have a shop do it at least.
Right. So I won't shit now. I still won't even touch gears. I don't even want to do a lunchbox locker, man.
It's so worth learning how to do. If you've got the patience, you save yourself so much money and make a buck on the side. It's so great.
Well,
I'll
this
just
is why
go buy a Dana 30 in a locker and do it like outside of something. Oh, I guess I could do it in the MJ. There's a 30 in the MJ. Shit.
There you go.
You guys got me spending money already.
What we're here for.
The lockers aren't bad. I would like, even with me not knowing, like I had Luke do my first one, and then after that, me and Marvell put one in. Super simple. Like, granted, I had seen it before, but it really wasn't hard. But after watching Graham do the gears, fuck that shit. Like, I understand enough to be dangerous where I could probably do it. I know where the shit goes, but
your gear set sucked because it was just
355.
No. It was because I was doing it on the ground in that dirty ass shop. No offense to the shop at all. It was an ideal environment.
Turned out beautiful things.
But okay. But it was just it's
that shop. I'm sorry, not to cut you off, Grant. The shop hasn't turned out beautiful things. It's turned out holy things.
Everything that comes out is like half of what it was, whole body wise, right?
Yeah.
I guess you could read into that at multiple levels, but no, most of the stuff is good. But yeah, it's a matter of tooling, Cody, and stuff, right? I can only bring so much stuff that I have from where I am to where I'm working on a gear set, which is why it's nice when people can bring me an axle versus me go to it. I can make do, it's just not as... Right, I might not have that set of shims that I've got sitting in my basement that I didn't think to throw in my bag. Stuff like that.
For example,
I actually worked at a shop for 3 years, so I've had my hands in almost everything that you can do, but not like I've assisted with the gears, like you were saying. Like I know how everything goes together, but don't bring it near me by myself. I need an adult.
You're supposed to be the adult. You've got the children here today.
That's how I know we're in danger. Yeah. It's funny you say that. The other day, me and my wife were looking at our kids and we're like, yo, we're not fucking kids. Like, we have kids. We are so None of them have died yet, so I guess that's good.
Let's hope that
that's all that matters.
It's funny because, like, as you get older, your hobbies get more advanced, but then you're like, crap, like, I actually know what I'm doing. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm becoming an adult. Like,
it's funny.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. It kind of brings into the idea of getting older and stuff. Like, my girl texted me today and was like, oh, I could call her Caitlin now because you guys have now met her on the podcast. She texted me today. She was like, can we go out to eat this weekend? I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely. She's like, because we should probably start acting our age instead of just like sitting inside and watching movies after eating dinner that we made. I'm like, but like pretending to be old is fun. She's like, yeah, but like we're young enough we could go and do that. We don't have the like a ton of dogs or the kids or anything. Like, let's go and do stuff. I'm like, fuck, you're right, but
is your Jeep ready for Roush?
My Jeep is definitely.
Oh, that's right. You're not going. You're not going to Roush.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to Roush with the Jeep. We haven't talked about it on the podcast yet. There's no way, man.
I'm gonna call you up because that's lame.
Yeah.
No going to dinner.
You can go and not
Jeep.
wheel.
That's the plan. As long as I can make sure that there's a seat for me and the girlfriend. We don't have to be in the same Jeep, but as long as I have a seat, she has a seat, we'll go. Like that, I mean, it's not going to cost us a shit ton to go down there. The cost is going to be getting the
Yeah.
Jeep ready, and then also then towing the truck and trailer down there. That's going to be what the cost is. So as long as I have a seat, I've talked with Colin. Colin doesn't know yet. Graham's still in the same boat. He doesn't know yet. So like everybody's in that kind of weird.
I'm not planning on having anybody, so I can.
Jacob is planning or trying to go, and Jacob
I don't
has
know
first
if he's
call.
going to have enough time. He's still got stuff going on with other projects, and it's been pretty busy at the shop. So we'll see. But
Yeah.
That's the same answer I've gotten. Is just we'll
Okay.
see.
I'll get a
once I
confirmation from him later.
Perfect. Once I can secure 110% that there's open seats, I'll definitely go. But yeah,
My back seats are open. 2 of them. There you go.
fuck that.
Good to
I'll
go.
walk. I will walk. Give me a water bottle and a
4-door
granola
life.
bar. I'm hiking. Fuck that shit.
Drag you behind.
That's
Bring
one
us
other
blood.
thing that I will say, that adulting sucks, because like right now my problem is we just moved, and where we moved to, I don't have any place to store my tools, so I have to go buy a shed and set up a shed before I go and pick my Jeep up. So I have a place to store my tools, because I am not going to leave my tools outside, yada yada, shit like that. And then it's like, okay, so I have to get that done before I drive 1,000 miles from Tennessee to Connecticut to pick my stuff up. Shit. And then I also have to coordinate wheeling in there, and it's like, crap, I don't know how I'm going to get that done before Roush. And then it's like, okay, well, I can at least plan for Harlan, which is a month out from that. So, like, that gives me a little bit of extra time to be an adult and figure shit out.
So this is confirming that Luke is not going, because last episode was an excuse not to go, and now this week's an excuse not to go. He's confirmed not.
Oh no,
going.
he's like trying to get me to put my air bumps in. He's like, "Yo, I'll buy you new air bumps. Just throw the air bumps in, right? That'll add extra time. You won't be able to have it done by the end of the month."
I listened to that episode.
Well, Roush is just 3 weeks away, isn't it?
Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, about 2.5.
I rounded.
But-
It's too close.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm like taking my transfer case apart on like a weeknight. And trying
Well,
to get
you're
that
also
done.
dumb and going to F&F, which I don't know if you've heard about, Angel, but that is the epitome of stupidity in New England.
No, what's that?
The
Field
epidemic.
and Forest
Field and Forest.
is I haven't been, so I
Okay.
can't really speak to how
Okay.
amazing it is. Have you been, Luke?
I have not been, but I know multiple people who have taken buggies that are far better built than my Cherokee up there and been spat out in about 3.5 hours with gear sets on the floor and like transfer cases in pieces.
Well, that's why we're
and,
fixing the transfer case
Yikes.
before we go, so
So-
we can fix it
um,
again later, and we're
Field
better
and
at it.
Forest is just like, it's the epitome of wheeling in New England. It's where
Okay.
all the
It's
top
inc-
dogs go to
It's
play.
incredibly difficult. I mean, I think there's obviously like green, blue, black, red scaling,
Yeah.
but it's like turned up a couple notches from what I understand, and
To give you an idea, Angel, the minimum specs to get on the property to run greens are 35s, dual lockers, winch. To get out
Holy
onto the
shit.
blues
minimal regard for body
is-
damage. You don't need a cage. You just need to have
Yeah, for
Um,
greens. For
yeah.
blues, a cage is recommended. You're not allowed on the blacks without a cage. And reds do not take a full-bodied rig on.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
people
it's
like
gnarly.
all the buggies around here are like purpose built for Field and Forest.
Okay.
It's a very
insane.
odd phenomenon too, because you don't like down here. I've seen a lot of big buggies, and I've even seen them on the road. I don't know if you get that in Virginia, but down here we have people driving like legit rock crawlers on the road, which is pretty awesome. But down here, I've seen like people will build 4-seater buggies. Up there, no, it's a 2-seater. You sit like on your passenger's lap with a Suzuki motor on Toyota axles and 40-inch reds, because that is the best combination for that one place.
Is it an event or a place?
To place.
It's a place that hosts
Okay.
a lot of events.
Yeah, they've
Okay.
got Humble Pie, which is it's not
I
really a
think
bounty,
New
it's like a
England King
shootout.
of Yeah, it's New England version of King of the Hammer shootout.
Yeah,
Like the
Okay.
bouncer night, similar idea.
Shit show,
Uh,
by the way.
I would imagine. I know we talked a shit ton about wheeling, but you've been to a lot of conventions and shit like that. What's that like?
So the
The
past
shows and
couple
whatnot.
years, yeah, I've done a bunch of shows. I've done Ohio. Um, oh my God, the one in Tennessee, Smoky Mountain.
Yep.
I've done that one twice. A couple small stuff in Pennsylvania. I've done hammers 3 years in a row. I've done a bunch of regional Ultra 4 races. So I've been around and done a couple things, but there's nothing like hammers, man.
Hammers is on my bucket list. I want to go so bad.
Same.
It should be. You guys need to get your fucking shit together, plan out 2 years in advance, start talking about it now, and go out there. It's fucking insane.
So
Luke
What's
Luke
like-
doesn't like the idea of bringing his rig there, but
I
He's
have bad
concerned
peer
about his,
pressure problems.
yeah, he's concerned
Um,
about the how it'll be when it gets back.
Yeah, I have a problem with peer pressure. I do my dumbest shit when there's 2 or 3 people around, but if you get a crowd, I either end up doing like full-blown retard or just pussying out. There's no in between. Like,
Can you imagine 100 people screaming at you? to
100
hit it with
drunk
your
people
purse
screaming at you.
from the hillside? Everything's lit up. I feel like you do
See-
your best work.
I would rather just go out there and watch people do their best work than blow my shit up there. Because that's the kind of blown up shit where it's like, you know, you fuck your shit up and then people start using it as part of the trail.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I've seen
come
it.
on. In 2 years, do you think Barry's going to be like showroom quality still? Not that it is, anyways, but
In 2 years, Barry is hopefully still going to be driving down the road.
That's boring.
I do not expect, like, I hate to say it, but I don't know where my rig's going to be in 2 years because the
But your
frame,
rig's also a lot older than mine.
it is, but it didn't really get, it's been starting, I've been beating it harder the past 2 years and I've noticed it a lot. Like, I've put a ton of years on the thing in the past 2 years that, you know, there's only so much you can re-engineer on a unibody Cherokee before it's just like, you know, it's too late. I don't know. I'm going to keep it alive for as long as possible, and I'm going to drive it on the road for as long as I possibly can, but it will
Well,
hit a
that's-
day when it can't do that. I'm without
That's
a doubt.
the point that I struggle with, is it's like at some point in time, would it be better for me to do what was done to Miguel's rig with my rig and just
Yes.
be done?
Yes.
Or would it be better for me to keep trying to keep it street legal? Because like I forget the guy's name, but MJ, I think it's MJ Crawling's rig.
Aaron Osterman. I was talking to him today.
His rig would be street legal where I live in its previous form.
Really?
Yes. They
Wow.
do not, no inspections, no lift laws, nothing. It's like I could get away with driving that thing down the road. As
Wow.
long as it's
Yeah.
got a windshield and whatnot, and like brake lights, tail lights, and license is up to date and it passes emissions. Actually, you know what?
It
In my
passes
county,
emissions?
you don't even have to have emissions. That's just
That
in
sounds
the
like New
next county
Mexico.
over. So, like, I can get away with a lot. I can cut the nose off of that thing, and I can cut the ass end off of that thing and just rebuild it with tube.
I
But-
mean, I feel like you're gonna come to a point though where you're gonna have to decide if you want to keep your Jeep the way it is and understand its abilities, and this is your fun rig that can drive down the road, yada yada yada.
Well, that's already, I know
build-
that.
So then, I mean,
This
Then
ties
you're-
back to the earlier conversation where you have 2 rigs. You keep one that's like
Yeah.
more mild, street drivable, and then you build the buggy that's for stupid shit.
that's kind of
And-
where my mindset has gone to with mine for sure.
It's kind of funny that the mild streetable rig will be on 1 tons coilovers and
Well,
you
that's
know.
fine. You got to have bling in the mild rig and the big rig, right?
Yeah. it'll be hilarious because the big rig's probably gonna end up on like fucking rear air shocks with front coilovers, some dumb shit like that.
Well, it'll be
and-
light. Yeah, you won't need that heavy duty, expensive uh, coil overage. It'll just be a
You
tube
know.
buggy, right? Talking probably like 3,000 pounds max.
Yeah, I would really like to revive the idea I'd talked about on earlier podcasts about doing a Ford buggy, just to be a little bit different because I'm dumb like that.
Like a
But I
Ford
feel like
Ranger, like an old or a new one, newish one,
no,
not new, but
too
like
buggy, but
2000.
like
Ford power plant.
you know, Ford
Okay.
351 that's been worked over, or a 302 that's been worked over,
I don't know why you do
C6,
that to yourself, but
Crawl
Does he-
Box
No,
205.
As he gets off by fucking himself over.
Well, I mean,
It's
we do
gotta be
know.
different, guys.
Well, we also know
Yeah.
County who works at Blue Point, so it wouldn't be that hard to get a 347 crate motor for it.
No, it
you
wouldn't.
know.
No, but like, there's a reason that things have been done over and over again. Is because
yeah.
of simplicity and it fucking works.
Well,
Like,
the next motor that's going in my Cherokee, unless it blows up and like I'm in the middle of a move or I don't have time, it's going to be an LS. This would just be because I could be dumb and different.
that sounds like a headache. That's like an
Well, yeah.
Different is expensive.
Exactly.
different is expensive.
That's why if I do a buggy, it's gonna be a Toyota buggy. It's just because simplicity. Everybody and their cousin fucking brother has one, and it just works. It fucking works. You throw propane and boost at it, 40s and chromos, you call it a day.
Can
It
you
fucking
still
works.
find? I mean, this is a genuine question. There's still like old school Toyota pickups in Massachusetts that aren't rotted to shit.
Not really, but the rest of that stuff, you can find the 22R without a problem. You can find the transmission without a problem. And companies have been making modular, like the same way that they do the 9-inch, they do the same thing with the 8-inch.
Yeah.
So you
cheap,
can buy
too.
housings.
Yeah, you could buy a fully like gnarly Toyota housing for like $1,500. Gutted, like there's no axles, no gears, no nothing, but like
It's a lot
Like,
for a
all
gutted
done up.
axle, but
yeah, but it's all spicy and shit, so it's fine.
yeah, but
But-
it's only an 8-inch axle.
Yeah, but it'll still hold up. It still has like fucking big ass like.
Oh yeah, it's got that
thing that-
Toyota stamp on it, right? Can't break.
Yep.
But you just throw gearing at it and it'll be fine. But I mean, my buddy Austin
And free
has
transfer cases.
Yeah.
exactly.
Or let's keep it fresh here.
Or
3 or so last year.
but you mentioned is there any like non-rotted out Forerunners and shit or Toyota pickups? A buddy of mine has two. We know Dom with the white one. That one's not rotted out. Just met another guy down the street from me who has one green done up with 40s.
See, I'd never see him on the North Shore, in our area. I'd never see him. I'd never see any of them. But yeah, I mean, I know Austin's got those two. He's actually got the Stinger on one of them, the green one, which is hilarious.
Yep.
There's
Yeah,
a
I just-
couple Graham in the Otis area.
Yes.
Oh.
Yep. So yeah, they're around. It's just a matter of like, but also it's the same thing of like what Luke said. I'm doing a buggy. If anything, maybe I'd use the frame off of it, like the pickup, but that's maybe it. I mean, my
Well,
mine is
look at
bad.
Mike Clark's rig. Mike Clark's rig is the ideal Toyota buggy. I'm not trying to like blow smoke up his ass, but that rig is very,
Craig?
very. No, Mike Clark, Himmy's dad.
Oh my god! I thought you said Craig. That's why I was like, bro,
No, Clark.
what? I like.
Bad at math and all that, but Mike
Yeah.
Clark the guy's got a Toyota buggy, mix and match coilovers. I think the fronts and the rears are different, but they sat down and they fully engineered the suspension. The thing is like riding on a cloud. It's just a simple 22R with a doubler and 40-inch KR2 stickies
Now,
and a 111-inch wheelbase. The thing just climbs like a goat. It's ridiculous to watch. It's competed in humble pie, and it's a very
He's got some
simple
bald
quality
ass
buggy.
crawlers on that thing. It's hilarious.
Oh, I thought he had KR2s, but he's got bald crawlers now.
I think he may change him out. I believe he had them on at Badlands because he was there.
That's another trope I gotta ask about. Do bald crawlers still work in California the way they work in New England? Because they're like duct tape out here.
That's when they're just broken in.
Like when you start seeing cords, that's when you start seeing the magic happen.
Exactly. That's the secret sauce.
When you can
know.
you can peel the what's left of the tread off. Does that mean it's working?
Yep. They actually go up in price when they start looking like that.
Yeah. That's good to know because I've got a set from Luke that I can't fit him on my Jeep now, but I will. I got to stretch the rear to fit 40s how I want.
Do it.
I know,
So-
I want to use them so bad. I'm just concerned they're not going to hold air.
They'll hold air, but they do the crawler thing where the air evaporates over a weekend.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure.
just be prepared.
Air cannot evaporate. Just want to put that out there. That's not how that works.
That is
Listen,
totally
man.
how it works.
I failed geometry for a reason.
Dude, I'm no rocket surgeon, but like that don't work.
No, I know what he's
So-
talking about though. My beat tires on the Jeep, the back ones will lose air over like a month, but the front ones, which are fairly new, don't. It's just, they get broken in. The air just
Don't
burps
mind
out.
do.
No, I buy new tires, so mine are fine.
Oh, let me change my answer about worst tire. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just thought of this right now. You're talking about burping air out of tires. The Pitbull rockers that I had. Absolute
Really?
least favorite tire ever. I fucking hated them.
It's funny you
'Cause-
say that because we had a friend that was in our club. She was running the Pitbulls on her TJ, right? Those are Pitbull rockers,
Yep.
right? Okay. It always seemed like she didn't have the traction it should have had. Like there was a lot of times that I'd like be wheeling the same trail, and I think at the time I was even on IROX open, and I still was able to do certain obstacles, maybe line choice, wheelbase, yada yada yada. But why didn't you like them that much?
I didn't feel like they cleaned out as they should have. Like anytime they got a little bit wet, a little bit of mud, there's just
Some pat of suck
They did
syndrome
not.
going on.
yeah, I was not a fan at all. I would not recommend those tires to anyone.
What size were they?
37. They were wide.
14 or
Did they make a
something?
37
Yeah,
and
the
14?
Pitbulls are wide.
That's a big
Yeah, and they were bias ply.
Did you buy them when Trump became president too? And the guy, the owner,
Absolutely. I did a podcast about that. That dude lost his fucking mind.
That dude went.
I
wild.
saw the
nutbag.
Facebook post. It was
Can you
interesting.
give us a little bit of a rundown? I don't know anything about it other than he said what he said. Like,
He
I don't
just-
even know what he
got
said.
He got super political, and then the big thing with them is that they would do sales, but they would mark it up double to cut it back down, and then they weren't shipping tires like anywhere close to when they should have been.
oh,
It was
God.
I had already sworn off them by that
Mm.
point. I was just watching the flames from afar on that one.
I remember, like, not to make things political, but he's like going on and on and on, and like he's super far to the right, but he's like, yeah, I gotta go and ship my tires offshore because I can't get them made here. Well, it's like, dude, shut the fuck up then.
I don't think he was right because he said if
All right,
Trump-
super conspiracy theorist.
I don't know whatever it may have been. I don't know the whole political standing. Whatever it was, I know he didn't want Trump to be president, and he
No,
put
he
up.
did.
He didn't?
He
What? I was
did.
gonna say
he
that's-
was
yeah.
Did?
he
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
he was
Oh,
yeah.
so he was just like, oh, if Trump becomes president, I'll sell my tires for 50% off or something like that. It was like half
Yeah.
cost. And
Yeah, that was like a
But they
celebratory
marked
thing.
it up.
And then he marked the tires up twice. And then he was like shitting on people in America because he had to go and make his tires offshore because he couldn't compete with like tire cost, and like that was the whole excuse for the fucking shit. And oh yeah, it was bad.
Mm.
Oh God.
It was, in my opinion, extremely inappropriate for a business owner. It's his business. He can run it however the fuck he wants. I just thought it was whatever. I don't give a shit what he believes. I don't get into politics. That has nothing to do with it. Just the way he acted was
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
bad.
the Facebook posts that I see I used to see from Pitbull was it was always a riot, right? You go to
Yeah.
watch the flames and see what he does, and it's always entertaining.
Is a loose cannon, that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking hate those tires.
Special individual with shitty tires.
Hmm.
A lot of
it up.
people love them.
They're not
Yeah.
the worst tire, and maybe they are, but right?
I'm
They get
only
the
so
job
adamant
done.
about it
They're
because I've
round.
had them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
round.
They're round and they have knobbies on them.
Yep.
I do find it funny though that you're putting 43 SXs onto YJ. A good friend of mine and Richie's, who has passed on, had them for a while, and he put a LS into that thing. I remember we had like local car shows and whatnot. He stood it up on its end, and then blew a 14-bolt gear set with 43 SXs.
Holy shit.
Blew it while doing a wheelie.
Yeah,
Wow.
solid 12 o'clock in that bitch.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
And I got it on video.
Yeah, the
No
pinion
shit.
just decided it was done and literally split the fucking gear set off. So it was just like
Rightly
no.
so.
Richie, do you have this video?
Yeah.
It is on one of my dead phones that I keep next to my bed.
Okay, well, I would love to salvage that because that sounds like it's
I will
Yeah.
give you my phones to fix.
Dry pavement and 43 SXs produces some entertaining results with an angry LS.
And if I remember right, when it broke and he came down on top of a car.
Yes, we had to get a wrecker and actually pick the Jeep up off of
Yeah.
the car.
It was at an off-road car show, and someone brought a shit ton of cars to drive over. So it was one of those cars that
Okay,
came
I was
down.
gonna say it wasn't just like a bystander's car that just
No. It wasn't King of the Hammers level retardation, but there was definitely some solid stupidity going on.
Yeah.
Great dude, though.
Can't beat a car crush, man.
No, you really can't until you start pulling fucking chunks of glass out of the sidewall. I think one of Graham's
that always
tires
did
has
scare
that.
me.
It should.
There is a trep that has like a concerning chunk out of the sidewall.
I think
It's just
that was
like
from
a
the car
missing
crush.
chunk. Yeah, it might be. That's one of the older
Yeah,
ones.
I think it was the year after that happened is when you brought Ducky there, right?
Yeah, that was good.
That's a funny story. What award did you win?
The Kids' Choice Award. um, so basically, I had the only thing that was approximating a buggy there, and so I was just flying over the cars repetitively, and all the kids were losing their minds because I was backing up over the cars, and
That's awesome.
There was a
So-
few times where even I got concerned just watching.
yeah,
Just-
and
Yeah, this ugly, crude-looking buggy. I could just picture it just going back and forth over the car.
I fell off of one of the cars on the side and was about to roll it, and it was a good old time being an
Monster
idiot.
truck.
Yes,
You
exactly.
in parking lots.
Yeah, me in parking lots. I either almost roll it doing cool shit or I almost roll it in the parking lot. There is never a time where it's something mild on a trail. It's either the parking lot or being a retard. There's no in between. What's the best parking lot story you got?
Yeah, I have. Parking lot story.
Because entertaining shit always goes down in the parking lot, like at Roush or I'm gonna guess King of the Hammers, shit like that. Doesn't even have to be about wheeling, but funny shit that's going on.
The only thing I can think about as parking lots is since we started having kids, we don't camp at Roush anymore. We go to the Comfort Inn, and that big event I used to do, the majority of people would stay at the hotel. So after the event was done, after me planning this for months and months and months and working my dick off all day for this event, finally sitting down. They let us have fires in the parking lot. That's how many people would go to the hotel. Yeah, dude, it got fucking rowdy. And I didn't have to bring beer at all. As soon as I came out, Angel, here's a beer. And I just got absolutely fucking annihilated in the parking lot. With 60 of my friends with a fire pit and having a fire. That's
That is
ridiculous shit.
that is the hallmark of a backyard built wheeling event. If it's a good one, we all show up with a cooler of beer and we leave with a killer hangover the next morning after having fun in the parking lot. But there's been some stupid shit like we were
Graham almost
Graham's-
blowing his dick off.
quality one.
Oh,
That was bad.
I'll let you tell that because that was great.
oh my god.
There's nothing to tell. I lit it, and I just assumed that.
Hey, then if you're gonna tell like a
Stupid.
dickhead, I'll explain it then.
Yes,
if
you
want.
explain it. You explain it.
Okay, so
You cheddar bob yourself.
So it seems like Graham has always played with fireworks safely. You stick it somewhere, it's held on its own, you light it, lit side up, you're good. Well, he's handed a Roman candle, whatever, and he's holding it backwards. So the actual doesn't even think about it, lights it. And then it's
Just
sitting there
holding
for like,
Oh
3 seconds.
my god.
Yeah, it could
All
have
of a
been
all of a sudden, our buddy Dan flips it around, and it instantly,
literally right after he flips it.
he starts shooting. He was like, "Oh,
Thank God for that.
Okay,
Great.
beer. Jesus.
that
And
was
so then to carry on with that night, we're like, all right, cool. So what was it? They started launching Roman candles at the chairs. I forget why.
No,
but
firecrackers.
firecrackers, that's what it was. So they threw a firecracker, and I'm like, dude, my piece is in the chair. So what's this kid do? Right after he bails Graham out, punts the chair and launches a bowl clean across this field,
Holy shit.
like about 40 feet. And we're just like, oh God. We behave ourselves on the trail, but
Yeah.
afterwards, when you start partying, it's
Right.
always a good time.
Yeah, those fireworks, and they just kept throwing those little, what do you call them?
M80s.
No. It was maybe whatever it was. They'd like throw them just in a group of people. I don't remember what they were throwing.
Firecrackers.
yeah, they're like a multiple shot fire.
Yeah, it's like a little. I don't know. It got annoying.
The little
Shenanigans.
bundle.
Yeah, just like you had to move. Like you couldn't. It was lit. It's at your feet. You gotta move.
My poor girlfriend almost got her fucking head blown off with those. It decided to pop and bounced towards her and exploded next to her head, landed in the truck bed next to her. It was so funny. Yeah,
We're
fireworks,
terrible.
You sound thrilled. You sounded like that was the funniest thing you've ever heard or ever experienced.
It was. I mean, I thought it was funny, but I was just like, ooh. In my head, all I
You
could think
probably
was,
didn't.
yeah, sit up and move, and she just standing there, just like. "Ah." And I'm like, well, to each their own. I guess she's eating this one, but sadly, this year at Badlands, we had to be calm with our fire because the week or two beforehand, some club was out there wheeling, got in trouble with the fire department. Hold on one second. He literally he had to. Sorry, my whole brain just fucking exploded. There's a
Hi,
massive fire.
Curtis.
He's currently server muted, so he can't talk right now.
Let me
I
take care
did.
of that.
Well, I did that on purpose because we were still mid episode.
Hi, Curtis.
Hi guys. I've been talking. I was like, why does nobody hear me?
So,
Up
gotta
to-
say thank you for introducing us to Angel. This has been fucking a hoot.
Not a problem. Hi Angel, how are you doing?
What's going on, dude? It's been a minute.
Yeah. Oh.
Surprise
So,
guest.
who all is going to Roush Creek Labor Day? I know Luke's
1
not.
second. We're still in the episode. We're still live right now.
You guys are fucking stupid.
I think
Oh, that's why I had you muted. It was because I was like, oh, hold on, we'll finish what we're talking about and then tell him. There he goes. But yeah, so we had to be calm this year up at Badlands because I guess the club a week or two beforehand had such a massive fire that the fire department was called, and then the owner got harassed, so we had to hey, can we use firecrackers? Yeah, sure, but if you get caught, it's your own thing. Can we have a fire? Yeah, sure, it has to be super small. So sadly this year it was a very small adventure compared
Well,
to
it was also pouring rain.
Yeah.
That doesn't help. It
that is true.
kind of makes fires
Not
hard
conducive
to
for a
light.
fire.
Yeah.
I remember the night before I started a fire, and it was horrible. Literally, I could not get the wood to start. Like, it was dry and everything, but
It was pretty good when we got back. It was
Yeah,
It was
it was
roaring.
going.
going out in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Well,
going.
Probably you guys got to enjoy it. I went to sleep.
Yeah, you lit the fire and then went to bed. We got back from that night wheeling stint and helping all the
God.
people who broke out, and it was there. There's the fire. Marvell was like, yeah, they lit it, and then they went to bed. So we just all sat around it, or a couple of us sat around it for a little bit, and then
When you
Sean
guys
had some fancy fucking fire pit that everybody else was around, so we kind of had to migrate over to that thing.
Who brings a fire pit?
I don't know. It was like supposed to be a smokeless. It was one of those smokeless fire pits, but
super
there was still
fancy.
smoke coming out of it. It was not
yeah,
working.
it was
Let me
smoking.
tell you.
So, I think we covered that pretty damn well. I gotta ask, what's the worst trail break you've had? Because we specialize in those.
So, as I told you before, I haven't been wheeling in years. So the last trail break I had was just a brake line at Roush on Crawl Daddy. I literally have not been
Dude,
wheeling
I
in years.
fucking love Crawl Daddy. And the most annoying
it was
shit
fun.
about that is every fucking time I go to Roush, my rig blows up before Crawl Daddy. I'm like, all right, sick. We are ready to go to Crawl Daddy. We're gonna hit that in the morning.
Which one's Crawl
Blows the
Daddy?
3-link and that's the one at the bottom of the park that we did with oh god, what's the guy's name with the white XJ?
The shitty one
Not
that
Curtis.
I was gonna say
The other one. He's got the LS in it. Curtis, you want to fill us in on that?
Jason.
Jason, yeah.
The other Jason, because there's two Jasons.
Jason Ramsey.
Yeah, that
Oh,
dude.
I know that guy.
Yep, we were.
We're on those special guests now.
I told him to hop on in because I figured he'd give Angel some shit, and you know. Actually, what's the backstory on you guys in the Cove? I hate to derail too far from that, but
Which one's
I
Crawl Daddy? Just tell me which one's Crawl Daddy. Then we
sorry,
can go.
Crawl Daddy is
Oh.
the one at the bottom where we were bending the control arm with, I forget whose bumper, but it was Curtis's control arm that we were bending,
Because he
and I
pre-bent
forget
it.
who's. Yeah,
Prepared it to fail.
I don't know if you've heard this story, but we had to take a control arm and stick it through a D-ring tab and bend it back to being almost straight so we could get it back under Curtis's rig. I don't know if that's part of the course or not, but you'd be the expert here. We've only wheeled with him once.
So, what is this Cove thing that we were talking about?
That was I went to the Cove to film with some of the guys I know locally, and Aaron Osterman was there, and Aaron introduced me to Curtis.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I think, right?
Curtis.
You're muted.
I'm sorry. I'm not good at this.
So,
Clearly.
no, we're not. But so for the backstory, Curtis has been on like 3 or 4 times at this point, so
I think
Okay.
it's more like
That he would-
20.
20
yeah,
times.
really.
It feels like it.
Oh shit.
But
Wheeled with him once. Have him on the podcast like 5 times.
yeah, well, he's funny as fuck, so
Yep.
cut him some
I'm so
slack.
excited for this year's rush. I don't know why you guys aren't bringing your rigs and you're wimping out. This is like
I'm simply wimping
both.
out because I would have.
yeah, you
to
sort of
make-
have an excuse, but at the same time, I told you it'd be done, and I can get it done if we need it done by then. So the excuse is all in your court. I don't want to hear any of this. Oh, he couldn't get it done in time. It'll be done in time. I can get the sheet metal done, and I've got all
It's
the
the
little
sheet
shit
metal,
done.
it's the air bumps, it's the other shit that comes along with that, and I would rather have it ready for Harlan and be 100%.
I know. Just sucks
And
that.
then I struggle with the idea of paying $1,000 for airfare and rent a rack for a weekend. It's I don't feel like driving fucking 20 something hours. I'd rather hop on a plane for 5. And yeah, I'm just being a bitch.
Where would you
All right.
fly into to go to Roush?
I was looking at Pittsburgh. It's an hour and a half
Pittsburgh?
drive, so
Okay.
Is Pittsburgh really an hour and a half from Roush?
yeah.
Yeah, because
Didn't know that.
then if he dropped in at Pittsburgh, I could grab him on my way through.
Oh.
But the problem is the girlfriend wants to come as well, so it takes the $450 ticket, and then I'm just assuming a minimum of $100 for a rent a rack, and like basically doubles it. It's just for one weekend $1,000 just in flight, and getting there and back is a lot.
And not wheel. That makes sense.
Yeah. And like then you add in the fact that if I drive up there and I go and grab the rig, I have to find a place down here to put my tools. It just becomes like this really compounding thing. Whereas I can order a shed and have the shed before Roush, or not before Roush, before Harlan, so I have a place to put my tools for now and whatnot. It's just like a big stack of compounding bullshit.
Yeah.
So,
Makes sense.
and I'm not shitting on the girl, but she ain't working. She's been trying to find a job down here, but she's been struggling a little bit because her car broke down, like the frame rotted out before we moved. So she doesn't even have a car down here yet, and like I'm helping her to get money for the car, and there's a lot of shit going on. So
Yeah.
Roush is tight.
Yeah.
I know being an adult's bullshit.
I know it is. It really is.
100%. I had
What?
to spend $800 getting my fucking trademark renewed last weekend.
Really?
Damn.
It's that much
Yeah.
for the trademark?
Well, I had to do a bunch of other like tax stuff, and I did it all at once. It was expensive.
So is that like this is gonna tie back into the numbers and data and all that bullshit? Is that because of how large the brand is that you have to protect it to that level, or
No,
Pretty much, isn't it?
What's up?
Isn't it just the U.S. patent cost? Pretty much is like, isn't it roughly $800 to $1,500 depending on?
Initially, yes. I just had to do my 6-year declaration of use to say that after 6 years, I'm still using it actively in commerce. But then there was a bunch of stuff I had to renew along with that for taxes, so I could do the trademark thing. But I've never actively sued anybody over it. But in the event that we get large enough to a point where that needs to happen, then I want to make sure I have all my ducks in a row. If you search Instagram, there's 7-slot everything. There's multiple 7-slot societies.
Yep.
So it is what it is.
I'm not gonna lie, part of the reason that you got messaged off of the old shop account is I had you on the old shop account because I had sent you pictures of my Jeep at one point. So that is why I didn't message you off the podcast, because I was having a hard time finding it. And I
Is there
had
that
you
many
on
7-slot?
Well,
There's
if you
a
search
lot.
7-slot, there's a
Yeah.
lot because
Yeah.
every Jeep slot in her fucking mother has it. And then 7-slot society, I couldn't remember how it was spelled out. So I was like, I just searched Angel in my phone and was able to find you through that.
Yeah, there's multiple 7-slot societies at this point, which is a bummer. I've talked to a couple of them. I've been like, hey man, like I own this. They're like, fuck you.
Okay.
7-slot Society of SWLA, 7-slot Society BC. Yeah, look at that. 7-slot Society 1. There you go. They're the first. They got the one. Oh man.
Jesus.
Yeah, and then so like part of the reason that I was having a little bit of an issue was it was like I couldn't remember how it was directly spelled out when I was searching for it on the podcast page, but then I went onto the shop account and I was like, oh, okay, there he is. Bang. Hey, you want to come on a podcast?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So speaking of which, it's been awesome having you on. It's been
Thank you for
a shit
having
ton
me.
of fun. You got anything else that you wish to talk about, like some of the behind the scenes shit?
I'm in my basement where everything happens. I film videos down here, make stickers down here. This is the shirt press that I haven't made shirts on in like a year and a half.
You know what's funny? I'm currently writing out an email about T-shirts, so I'm gonna be talking to you about that. That's funny.
I
I'm
will
literally
not print them for you.
tell us machine that motherfucker.
You're gonna put him to work in the basement. You're gonna slave away on potential.
Dude, I am
That's what they're
not
used
good
for.
at it. I'm not good at it at all, man.
Ah,
I've had this equipment for 2014, and I fucking suck at it.
But you're good with the stickers?
Yeah, I
Because
got
I
a little
see a
vinyl
lot of
cover.
stickers.
Those are easy though. I don't like. I can do a 30 by 60 sheet of these in like 15 minutes.
Wow,
That's awesome.
pretty good. That's pretty damn good.
So
But yeah,
I do have to say though, like I've seen the stickers fucking everywhere now. So they've got to
That
be
makes
pretty
me happy.
popular.
yeah. People really connected with that logo. One of the 3 guys that I started with, I told you about, he actually drew that logo in 2015, I think. And then, because the original one we had,
The
I don't
S7S,
have
right?
one of the others. Yes, bingo,
Yep.
that one. We used that for the first couple years, and then he drew that, and we posted it up, and everybody was like, "That's the fucking best." So we started using that and haven't gone back.
Yeah, it's a cool
The
logo.
first one was fucking stupid.
What was the first one?
With the 7s stacked on top of each other with the mud splatter, fucking real original.
Yep. Well, it's a Jeep page, so what do you expect? I mean, you're talking to XJ guys, so like, you know, there's plenty of shit to go the other way. We drive fucking toasters.
Yeah, but I like
Hey,
that one
I'm
way
a
better.
toaster oven.
But that's awesome. In a little while after the podcast, I actually have some shit I gotta ask you about on a side note. So,
Of course.
yeah, anyone got any questions for him or?
No, I think I'm all set. I don't know about everybody else.
I'm square.
Yeah,
This has been a ton of fun, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
You are definitely my people.
So,
Yeah.
on that note, let's keep a spare 4-liter in the barn. I don't know what else. Keep your logos trademarked and have a good night.
I'll take it.
Sounds good.